Hello, mates. This is Discovery Scouts, a Pirates of the Caribbean film series here, and today is The Curse of the Black Pearl long stories. Elas de Mata just to be continued, and Elizabeth goes to for the treasure the Codex into the cave with the Barbosa's crew, and he says he opens that door very slowly. He looks up through the window on this island, but he believes what is his soul, his tensities. What it resulted, where one's gonna saw it. But he says, "Time to go, puppet." He says to be replied to go outside. He's got arrested with the wood nets, and he's rolling into the caves, and start traveling in the skies, and searching for the island. And starts shaking up for what happens, and the deeper water was a shipwreck, almost cracking down to the ground and the floor in the ocean. And Cotton's Paris looking for this in the island. William gives just long stories about dead men tell no tales. Literal just is notice about the various ships. All this is known about is literally just seems about it, the curse, the Black Pearl's curse on this ship. Well, but I think that course, if it been there for the last 10 years, to seeing the Gibbs in 1730, and HMS Dauntless, and Norrington and Governor Swan, and on this crew, the British Royal Navies, he searched up on his fire ships on his crew and what happens, and none of it is not there. None of them was dead. And young Will Turner was drowning into the water with the wood ship. It was an abandoned ship. Here is a long time, and as I see it, about 10 years now. When the Jack of Will just falling towards through all over the place it, all over the sometimes if you very to place it, if you do have some casing about underwater there, that's just called the golds. All the golds and coins everywhere about the skeletons one, just like the ride on the Pirates of the Caribbean on Disneyland and Disney World. It must have do have a very important, very immersive view if it can be about arrival there. Just one of the rowing boats behind, and when the Jack and Will finds Elizabeth to rowing back to the boat with his interceptor ship. Where do you think Patel would get it takes Elizabeth from a Port Royal thing? He didn't notice about everything could be the going into the celebrating for the cursed pirates on the Aztec gold, the treasure of Codex. When the Codex died in about a long time ago, when they start fighting the rest of the I'm playing Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, the video game, and the Curse of the Black Pearl is also do have something useful on this cut scenes on these videos. Where the Cannibal starts against by Codex's soldiers. Codex is on his soldiers with the Spanish does with the Codex Saxon Spain. When Barbosa stories about loves and the treasure with Aztec gold is. Jack Will Wilson about very sort of confused. He didn't know what he was talking about, and he was noticed. He looked up for Jack and Will look up on there until straight to the is about 120 crews on the beyond this cave. If you do something, if you wanted to if it unfortunately and he so an amazing, very classical, villainous and the curseful and respect to fellow like on interrogating with Elizabeth does. When Barbosa learns about she learns about what happens to almost getting cut someone with a hand with the blood does. The Will whacks at Jack with his face. He's not getting onto the fort, and he cuts her hand with her blood, and puts her hand in with his the blood and the gold and the blood a pirate does. He drops the gold and the treasure. He drops it very slowly and the motions. So I believe if it been about as a special, felt like it felt like about closing their eyes and something very musical for emotions. If he can't, but he don't know how Barbosa did close his eye, but did it work? And but he shot Patel with his flame pistol. But he is an undead. He is in immunity. But he says, no. Barbosa pointed with his hand by Patel. He wasn't confused, say, you shot me. He tricks him for no reason. He says, the count being upon us. And for the knife of the blood, with this is true, finding Elizabeth Turner, though the words he's at. But he knows about the aftermath about attacking the Port Royal on the night. But there's some capture by Patel Rigetti on his White House. He literally just escaped from the port on the city, Port Royal cities. But two of them brought her into the ship. But he says, you two, you brought out the Magda. Bosun knows about very sort of confusing and notice about fell everything. When the Will was finding that Elizabeth just slapping rolling over to the ground with the underwater dust. And one day Elizabeth, safe by the Will, she went back home just as slowly, so silently. And they all the crew, most of them threatening argument, just fighting for no reasons. They did start the psychotic, and all of the 100 crews, the 100 with them, their argument for no reasons, and they look down for the none of it. He looks about be gone, but he can't find a medallion. And she taken it for someone else, search her. The crew most is gonna be search for her, and she's taken back to the Interceptor mansion. She ran back to the cave around somewhere else. Well, I don't know that are logical fulfill everything. I have a return. The Jack returns back for the Barbosa's crew, which is very interrogating. He didn't notice why they're there. But he knows that why he here, where he came from. He came back for about the last 10 years, with the cutscenes about Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. He believes in Pintello says, you supposed to be dead. Am I not? And he tries to walk away. He blocked it, but they block him, trying to flank him. He believes it's a Parlo. He didn't know. Jack didn't know about a parlay. Rigetti says parlay. He said that for the name. That he says to the one. He decided to say parlay. That's the one. Parlay. He said that in his words. Damn to the dip to the nets and mutton modula parlay. He was fooling in what's in the round. He has one of the great reasons wanted to do actual something, Didn't notice about him being notices. One of the reasons. Well, I'm gonna figure out. Just gonna have to say in this crap, Everything Jack Sparrow is saying that's with his the Curse crew. When the outside of the ship on the sea, when Elizabeth welcomes to HMS Interceptor, where did she came from, where she came back. She welcomed there from the Molly crew for 90 about men. Well, but he was saying she was a neighbor for Anna Maria, Marty Cotton's pair, and Josh Me Gibbs came back from the last 10 years. Here's in a dead man telling their stories like in the doing the most of the half of the pirates. And literally it's just insulted. Well, most of you, if you enjoy Annie Dave and the Curse of the Black Pearl, Movie Madness, it's a long stories. And Anna Maria is under the ship. He goes back to the Seven Seas, going back home with the Port Royal. And but to be continued. Okay, mateys, don't forget to subscribe to our contest to the w.com.org and Pirates of the Caribbean film series Simon Pyramid and type of letters and send it to the friends of fan sites as Majaga Nuggets, Big Brother, Georgie Starburger, K Behind the Camera, Bridget West, The Angry Grandpa Shows, Psycho Dad, Larry's Lounge, Man Named Corn, Jailers Riley, and Man Named Corn, Daradiso Daily, Cuban Guy, The Cuban Guy Live, Next Book, The Boo Show, Space Jam's Gardens, and all of it, all of you, that's just gonna be all. Bo Squad, Ragging Dad, and Creed. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google finds the Twitch live stream, and gaming channels, Cocker Story, Cocker Talk, Tumblr, and the Juggy stores, Play stores, only. So don't forget, guys, upload it on this video, follow me if you can. So don't forget, guys, keep it rich and pirate and mateys. Just went up for 8 o'clock mass for church. So don't let me forget. Keep it rich and mateys.